Namaste, everyone. Welcome. This is Anjali. Waiting to see if anyone's going to be popping in onto the Facebook Live. And here I am. I've channeled a little bit of makeup and a little bit of a look from the goddess Hathor today. I've been goddessifying all day today with Hathor. And it's really beautiful. I think one of the biggest things that Hathor has said to me is the fact that we all really need to get out of the head and we need to just let it go and bring it into the heart, because the heart is where we feel everything. So if we're always constantly in the head, and I know for me personally, I'm an air sign, and air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So if you're air sign, it's just in your nature to constantly want to think and analyze and sort of decode, and that's not where we feel anything at all. And Goddess Hathor is about deep feeling and being able to experience pleasure. It could be from eating food to making love to communicating with people. And just before I get into Hathor, hi Goddess Freya, nice to have you. Just clicking in here, and sorry, I'm just seeing the messages popping up now. And what I would like to do is, before we bring in and we invite Goddess Hathor into our tribe today, I'd really love to say farewell to Goddess Oya, the goddess of the week last week, who has done a tremendous job of just blowing away all the last vestiges of doubt and shame and fears. And it's so funny to be in this really beautiful space to see fears are just basically, stuff in our head again, right? And if you were to really think about it, none of these things actually come true, and we just scare ourselves all the time. So thank you, Goddess Oya, for coming in last week and for really just taking away all the stuff that no longer is needed. So I would love if you can post in the comments and let us know and let me know what was your experience with that energy of just, being sheltered by Oya and just having her sweep away and wash away just all that crap that we don't need anymore. And so in honor of Oya, all of last week and actually up till today, I've been singing praises to Oya and to basically send her away. Exactly. And that's basically the path of the goddess. The path of the goddess is a woman that wants to liberate herself and to not live in her humanness, but to live in her goddessness, to live in her divinity. And a goddess is a woman that does not allow anyone else to define who she is, what she does. She does that based on tuning into her own wisdom and her own intuition and her own magic, and creatively expressing that to everyone. So kind of like what I'm doing right now, I've got the Ankh going on, and the Ankh is a symbol for just infinite life and fertility and longevity. So I'm going to sing little praise from to Goddess Oya, just to sort of send her away and to thank her for everything that she's done for us last week. And then I'll start off with us channeling and bringing in messages from Goddess Hathor. So here it goes. And this is part of being a goddess, the creative self-expression. And for me, I just do this personally. It's for me, singing is a form of liberation. Goddess Freya, exactly. So I'm going to start off. Ajaloru, winnie, winnie, mi be ma yansa. Afifi, jeje, le fufu jele, yawa o yao, ashe. Iba oya, ajalaya, ajalaru, winnie winnie, mi be ma yansa, afifi jeje, ye fufu leje, yawa o yao, ashe. Ajalaya, ajaloru, winnie winnie, mi be ma yansa, afifi jeje, le fufu leje, yawa o yao, ashe. Thank you, Goddess Oya. Thank you so much for coming in with your hurricanes and just sweeping away all that crap and just leaving a completely blank slate for us. And now having Goddess Hathor come in this week and basically saying to us, hey, all that stuff of the past that was just so cluttering our minds and our hearts and our space, it's completely cleared off now to a point that she is the goddess of love and beauty and music and dance and celebrating and merriment. And the most important thing here that came through to me was her really wanting to be present with us so we can learn how to heal and how to live in our sensuality. Because as a goddess and our feminine energy, it's so important for us to feel, because if we don't feel, we're not going to be able to communicate with our intuition. Our intuition is basically energy, and these energy comes through our receptives, right? So the 5 senses. So our ability to see beyond seeing, our ability to hear beyond hearing, our ability to feel beyond touching, and our ability to sometimes taste without tasting. And I know I can't remember the actual clair, where claircognizance would be clair-knowing, clairvoyance would be clair-hearing, and I know there's one for tasting. I can't remember the name, but I do know my mom has this gift, and my mother has always told me stories of her deceased dad coming around, and when he does come around, she actually tastes like alcohol, because I guess he was an alcoholic before he died. I don't really know much about him because he died when I was a child. So, and it's just basically being able to feel. So I've taken notes for tonight. And there's key elements that I want to introduce to everyone with working with goddesses, because again, goddesses are personalities, aspects of the universal mother. And I like to look at them as our divine friends. So the same way we have girlfriends on a human level, we have girlfriends on a divine level. And I talked about them having certain personalities and things that they love and things that attract them. And if you want to work with them and you want to bring them into your life and you want to bring that energy into your life, because really the goddess is us. It's the goddess is everything that we can't see, and everything that we can see is basically the human part of ourselves. So I want to cover today with Hathor, her gemstones, some of the foods, some of the drinks, her symbols, which is very important. And when we're speaking goddess or goddess language, symbolism is the language of the goddess. So it's not so much about figuring out and decoding and trying to do the whole, masculine logical thing, but it's really about being able to interpret symbols. So for example, I'm wearing the Ankh today, and that's a symbol for everyone that's going to be watching this. And it doesn't matter if it's live, or it doesn't matter if it's at some other time, space, reality. This symbol is coming to you today to basically say, hey, hold on to your vitality and your longevity and your energy, and make sure that it's strong and it's full. And that's what Hathor is about. It's about the ability to open up and the ability to receive nourishment. And so Hathor, we'll start off, is the Egyptian goddess. She was actually the daughter of the sun god Ra. That's why we're going to head into her gemstones. The metal gold, this is why I'm wearing gold today, just to bring in her energy. And gold is really a healing metal. And this metal helps to raise our vibration. So think about the sun. And think about when it's like a gloomy day for a few days, and it's just gloomy and there's no sun, and we start getting depressed, and we start, everything just starts feeling really contracted. And think about when the sun comes out after those few days and it warms up, and you're inspired and you want to go out and do things, and you want to go out and connect. And so gold is really important for her. She loves wearing gold. She loves being offered gold. And the other gemstone is turquoise. Actually, it's turquoise, malachite, and amber. So turquoise in Egypt has been used for, I believe, over 2,000 to 3,000 years before Christ. And it was a very healing stone, and these stones were placed in jewelries, sacred jewelry. It could have been placed on the breastplates of the temple priest and the temple priestesses to enhance their energy and to keep their energy connected to Hathor, so they can channel and they can share the information. And just to let you know, the priestesses of Hathor were also oracles. So people in the Egyptian civilization at that time would have actually gone to the priestesses in the temple of Hathor to consult about family situation or conception, because she's also the goddess of childbirth and fertility and motherhood. And anyway, so turquoise is about communication, and it's about authentic, creative self-expression. And so Hathor was bringing into me, and this is something that she really wants to voice and wants to share with everybody. And that has to do with the fact that our sexuality as women have been so suppressed, and it's been so smothered, and it's been covered up with guilt and shame for so many years. I think she said like a few thousand. I think it would probably be about 2,000 to 3,000 years now of the patriarchal energy overpowering the feminine energy and suppressing the feminine energy. And these are things that were handed down to us. So for example, in the Egyptian culture, virginity was not a word in their language at all. As a matter of fact, sexuality was so highly celebrated, and a woman who had an open sexual appetite and a woman that was able to make love and to connect and to have lovers was actually considered as very sacred, and they held her in a really high regard because they saw her as having the goddess, manifesting the goddess in her, and being fertile and being able to produce and to keep life going in that sense. The cool thing about malachite is that malachite was actually used, they would ground up the malachite into powder. And if you were to look at my eyeshadow, it's not powdered malachite, but I would love to do that one day. But I sort of channeled in the color of the green malachite. And this is how the women in Egypt in 2,000 to 3,000 BCE would have done makeup. And which which is really funny. The funny thing is I have my notes here, but it's just, this is my thing about wanting to remember everything instead of just actually looking at my notes. So her gemstones, turquoise, malachite, gold, we've covered that. And what I channeled in was the power of the gemstone of amber. And for a lot of women out there, some of the things, you know, a lot of us, we have like past sexual trauma and whatnot, but it can even be something as really simple as just being so stressed out that we just can't draw out that sexual energy. We can't draw out that juiciness and that playfulness and that merriment to be able to connect with people or connect with our partners, to have a healthy lovemaking session, if I may be bold to say that. And amber, what amber does, if you were to wear amber, amber actually alleviates your stress. It works as a sort of like a vacuum that it sucks out negative energy, and it builds as it vibrates as you wear it as a necklace or bracelet or earring. What you're doing, what gemstone does is that it starts vibrating. The energy starts melding into your actual energy field, and it creates this sort of eggshell, sort of a force field. And this force field is what protects you and sort of keeps everything away, so you can create this sacred space to really dive back deep into yourself and to start feeling. And one of the exercises that Hathor gave me today is, which is really funny, and I think she's using me as a really good example right now, because I'm just so in my mind right now trying to communicate to you all the fundamental facts and all the fundamental information for you to be able to work with her. And she's basically saying, Anjali, you can't work with me being in the mind. You have to work with me in the heart. And that exercise is just taking a moment and connecting with your breath and really just sensing yourself in your mind, and then pushing it down into your heart and just really feeling and her letting me know, just feel me, Anjali. I'm right here. I'm right here. Just feel me and let's do this. So the essence of Hathor, when I feel her, is this very confident woman. She has a great sense of balance. She's an amazing mother. She's very nurturing. She's very giving. She's very psychic. She's very intuitive. She can tune into her children. She can tune into her lover. She can tune into her friends. And she has the ability, because she's known as the celestial cow, or she represents the Milky Way in the universe. And if you think about breasts, when a woman bears a child and the child comes out of the womb for a certain amount of time, sounds like you. Goddess Freya, if you can expand on that, would be really cool. So think of Hathor as this mother, this celestial mother, universal mother. And we're like little calves walking around, and we're not mature cows yet, so we don't know how to graze on the grass and all of that stuff. And it's basically going to Mother Hathor and saying to her, please, I would love to suckle on your breast of nourishment, to have the milk of life, to be able to sustain me so I can grow strong enough that I can go out there on my own and be able to feed myself. And it's okay. It's really interesting, because a lot of us, I am the mother that can tune into my friend's psychic. Okay, yes, totally, exactly. And we all have that. We all have that inside of us. And so where Hathor comes in is that sometimes we forget, as human beings, we're not infinite, because we have the human, hi Dawn, we have the human limitation. So sometimes we have this nurturing, mothering quality about us, and we want to offer our bosom of wisdom or inspiration or love or healing or energy. And sometimes we deplete ourselves and we're completely empty. And then what? And this is where we need to sit, and we need to become that child again, and we need to go to the universal mother, and we need to accept that nourishment and allow that nourishment in. So now the thing about Hathor that I wanted to bring up is her name actually means the great one of many names. And the reason I want to call out a list of her names is to activate her energy in our presence, so we can receive channeled messages and healing energy and inspiration, and we'll be able to come to a space of just completely allowing ourselves, I don't know why I keep getting distracted, to completely allow ourselves to completely fill up. It's sort of like if your gas tank's on empty right now, and chances are if you're looking at this right now, you're probably empty. Or you know how we like to drive and we like to play a little bit bold, and we let the needle kind of go a little under E. So we need to fill up. We need to get to full. So Hathor is also known as the Golden Goddess, Lady of the Stars, Milk of Life, Lady of Malachite, Mistress of Turquoise, the Bearer of Joy, Bringer of Prosperity, and this one I love, the Mistress of Music. She is also known as the one who fills the sanctuary with joy, which is so cool because the sacred Shakti goddess tribe is the sanctuary that I'm in the process of creating for everyone to come together and fill up, because you know, society has really programmed us to give, and giving is good, and giving is good, and giving is good. And when it comes to receiving, and we have blockages, and there's corrosion, and you know, we sort of dodge it, or we think the world is crazy. Why is the world being so generous? And Hathor wants us to look at this for a second. If we were to turn the tables around, and you were that someone that wanted to give something to yourself, and you said no to it, how would that make you feel that that person said no to you? It would actually make you feel, you know, you wouldn't feel the joy of the completion of the exchange of the energy per se. So when someone comes into our lives and they want to give to us and we say no, that actually blocks us and it blocks them, and we're left feeling resentful. And that's one of the key elements, or as I like to say, the shadow side of being on empty with your goddess energy, is we start feeling resentful, and we start feeling angry, and we start feeling frustrated because we've given and given and given and given and given, and we're not allowing ourselves to receive anything. And so the people who actually receive and receive and receive and receive, and they don't give anything, they start feeling bored and restless, and they're unable to appreciate what's given to them. So they start squandering it, and they start wasting it. And then we're sitting there like, oh my God, I've given so much to you, and not even, you know, a thank you, or not even appreciating the effort and the energy and the love and the passion and everything that went behind this for you. And, you know, and we don't want to feel like that. You want her in your life. And that's really simple. To invoke a goddess, it's almost like calling up your friend, okay? So you have to like dial in, and dial in is through your breathing. And just feeling and sensing Goddess Hathor and saying, Mother Hathor, or mistress of music, or bringer of joy, or mistress of turquoise, or whatever aspect of her that you want to bring into your life. Please be here with me. Please inspire me. Please touch me. Please offer me your protection and cover me in your unconditional love. That prayer is sacred to you and her. And approach the goddesses like they're your girlfriends. Just imagine them as your human girlfriends, like you're talking to them. So for example, say you have issues with receiving things, probably because as a child, someone said to you, it's bad to receive things, as odd as that sounds. Or I think the more popular one, programming, would be giving is good, and just give and give and give and give. And the more you give, everyone's going to be happy. And then nobody teaches us as young girls or teenagers or young adults, or even now in our womanhood, we're sort of self-educating and figuring this out. And it's really like, well, how do I receive? How do I learn to receive? And that really comes from a lot of self-love. One of the things Hathor had me do while I was connecting with her is that one of the things that I've neglected a lot from my giving and giving and giving is neglecting my health and neglecting my body. And being a new mom, it's only natural with motherhood to just care for the child and neglect yourself. So she literally had me take my two hands like this, and wherever I needed to feel that love, I needed to put it on my chest, I needed to put it on my tummy. And I remember her saying to me, the parts of yourself that you hate the most, or the parts of yourself that you criticize the most, or the parts of yourself that, you just can't stand and you wish you can get rid of, the truth is, to heal that, you have to love it. You can't fight and disconnect, because these are all parts of yourself. So it's really about healing yourself and loving yourself back to wholeness. So for me, I love putting my hands on my inner thighs because I think they're chunky. And I love putting my hands and feeling Hathor just spreading that energy on my tummy. Just because I've put on, I believe, is about 50 pounds in my pregnancy. And I haven't been actively working on shedding that again, with the whole imbalance of giving to the kids and just being there for everyone and not really pulling in that sacred space on that time to focus on the deeper desires that's within myself. So this is something. Hi, Jane. Thanks for coming in. It seems okay. So, all right. So I'm just looking through the notes here. Ha 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 ha. So Hathor's gifts. So these are the gifts that Hathor is going to bring for us this week. The ability to relax and play and step away from the ruckus of the mind and live completely in the heart. And that's a huge one. That's a huge gift, because it's so funny. One of the biggest luxuries we have is when we're able to relax and play. That's a huge luxury. Not a lot of people can actually play and relax and really be in that moment and really enjoy it and milk the pleasure from it, because we're just so, busy in the mind. The other gift that Hathor brings for us today is to open up our ability to let in deeper levels of love. And she wants to remind us to nourish ourselves. So when we're connecting with Hathor, we're connecting with, taking milk baths, for example, with essential oil, trying to connect. Hi, Zoe. I'm not too sure. If someone can just type to me and let me know if you can see me, because Zoe says she's trying to connect here. So hopefully it works, Zoe, or you can catch the replay, but I'd really love to have you live. Going back to Hathor's gifts, to reconnect, reclaim, and enjoy our sexual nature. And for me, this is the biggest thing that's been coming up. And I think the reason I'm so in my head is because speaking about sexuality and spirituality seems to be such a taboo thing. But the truth is, sex is the core of spirituality. Sexual energy is life. And without sexual energy, none of us are going to be here. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you. Woohoo! Goddess Marianne in the house. And so, Marianne, we're talking about our sexual energy and the power of our sexual energy, and the fact that for hundreds and even thousands of years as women, we're told to just take your sexuality, put it in a box, tape it up, and shove it in the closet, because that's being a bad girl if you were to do that. Right? And the general message is basically all of us here, including me and all the other goddess teachers and enlightened influencers and all the women that are coming out and sharing their stories and basically educating, has to do with the fact that the earth itself is so imbalanced right now, because there is so much masculine energy that's dominating the planet that, there's wars, okay? And the masculine energy, when we look at the masculine energy, go, 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 brute, force, what's the word I'm looking for? Competition, needing to conquer, and that's not really working out for us. And for some weird reason, I have no clue why all the great leaders of the world doesn't understand that war is never going to bring peace, right? So we need to work together and come together. And the truth is, we might think, and I know I've thought, like, okay, what is me taking care of myself and learning how to love myself? How is that going to help the world, right? And the truth is, when I do that and my light shines, and you do that and your light shines, and then we build and we build and we build. And individually, it doesn't look like much, but if we've got a few million women all around the world doing this, and we're raising our vibration, we're literally slowly but surely going to bring that balance back into the earth. Yeah, the mind attitude is killing us, exactly. And the goddess energy, so the God energy is to divide and conquer. That's the God energy. It's all about manipulation and tactics and, as I said, brute and force. And the interesting thing is there's actually a lot of women that are in their masculine energy. So these women, when they have that power, they're going with the masculine energy. They tend to stomp down on everybody to go up, where if you're a goddess and you're self-realized and you understand the higher order of the universe, and you understand the gift of being a woman and the gift of you opening your divine feminine energy and sharing it with the planet, the goddess energy is about uniting and reigning, right? We're all queens. We're all goddesses. We're all priestesses. Like, no one's better than the other one. It's trying to compare like coconut trees. Like, this coconut tree is taller than this coconut tree, or this mango tree, there's like 10 mangoes in it, and there's this mango tree and there's like 2 mangoes in it, and then the mango trees are beating each other up. Like, that's so unnatural. We live so unnaturally. It's insane. And it's almost like me coming out and me stepping out too is just adding my voice to the mix and saying, hey, we really need to take a look at our life. And we really, again, the whole thing about being a goddess or wanting to become a goddess or living in your goddess has to do with the fact that no one out there, there's no blame. A goddess takes responsibility for everything, for her light and her shadow. And it's basically not allowing corporate companies to dictate exactly, me too. How to not let corporate companies or politics or people in power manipulate you to be something that you're not. and to basically, how do I share this? I'm just going to ask Hathor to come in. And a huge one, she's like, Angeli, please talk about the sex. Please talk about the sex. I'm the goddess of sex and having a good time. And I guarantee you, if you were to think about yourself, when was the last time you literally let yourself go, let your inhibitions go, play with your partner or play with your lover and allow them to explore your body and enjoy every single minute of it? I mean, Hathor represents putting that grape in your mouth and like really tasting it and sipping that wine and really playing with it in your tongue. She's that aspect of yourself, and she's really bringing through, and she keeps telling me today too, and this is a good lesson for everyone that's here live, and this is a good lesson for everyone that's going to watch this, is that, being in the head, living in the head, it's not where it's at. Your power, and I remember her saying this to me in the bathtub today. She's like, Angeli, the magic is in your heart. The magic is not in your head. The magic is in your heart. And the other thing she said to me is, your heart's desires can only be fulfilled when you listen to your heart. Your head cannot fulfill your heart's desires. What this is for is to listen to the wisdom of your heart and to then process through all the experience. This only has all the experience based from the time you were born up till this point, plus everything you've read, everything you've seen in the physical. That's what this is. And this is your infinite, the energy, your goddess energy that's in your heart and that's in your soul, that's been around for thousands of years, that just knows things that beyond knowing, right? Yes, thank you. So now that Zoe is here, hi Zoe. Yes, it's important to talk about sex. Why is talking about sex so embarrassing for everyone? And that has to do, Marianne, it has to do with programming. As I said, for hundreds and thousands of years, especially, not hundreds and thousands of years, for hundreds of years and thousands of years, especially when the patriarchal mindset came into the planet and really suppressed goddess worship. And just to let everybody know, and this may sound controversial and it may sound taboo, but the truth is the first religion on the planet is goddess worship. It is nature worship. It is the universal mother. And it was the god and goddess worship. They were actually even, the god and the goddess, and then all of a sudden, this is how it is, right? Men here, women here, God here, women, and a cool thing would be, and I'm not saying this being biased to any religion or any sort at all, but just speaking from my truth of observation, of looking at things through a neutral perspective. And one of it would be what I witnessed in Ireland when I was in Ireland. The goddess Bridget, who is a very powerful, force of nature and protectress. And she's been worshipped in the times of the Druids and the Celts. And she has survived for a very long time. And when Christianity came into Ireland, the Roman Catholic churches actually demoted Goddess Bridget from this powerful goddess into Saint Bridget, who is just a woman. So a lot of this has happened, and what we're basically doing is breaking open those limitations that has been placed on us for like hundreds of years or even thousands of years, and saying, hey, I want to own my power. Another reason too with sex and the way sex is seen is the fact that, again, hand me down, and don't be a bad girl, don't misbehave, you don't want to be a slut, you don't want to be a whore, you don't want to be a harlot, all these really bad names. Now, the truth is, in goddess worship for thousands of years, actually the high priestess would have had the honor of participating in sexual ceremonies, because the woman, and everybody understands the woman is the vessel for the energy of the goddess. And when the energy of the goddess comes into the woman and she's actually in this sacred ritualistic sexual dance with the priest, and they're making love, and they're building this momentum, and they're building this energy, and when she orgasms, the energy actually just shoots out into the atmosphere. And that was supposed to be a blessing to make sure that there was life force energy for the crops to grow, so the farmers would have wheat so they can make beer, and they can make bread, and they can have a good time and eat, and there's not going to be any famines or anything like that. And actually, goddess Hathor, her foods are actually wheat or made into bread, beer, and wine, because she's the goddess of having a good time, right? Like, can you imagine being on this planet and just being told what to do? You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. And the truth is, we're all here to just figure out what works for us, what makes us tick, what makes us get turned on, and to go out there and have fun with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing as that. I'm not too sure, Goddess Freya, what you're saying, but maybe you can expand a little bit. So again, the first step is the ability to relax. And I'm being honest with all of you right now. I'm not relaxed. I've had a few things that's happened today that's made me tense as fuck. And I was unable to really get into that space, that heart space. But you know what? That's the whole thing about being a goddess. It's about being authentic. I'm not going to come on here and pretend everything is fucking honky-dory and put this face on. I'm a human being just like you. I mean, we're traveling this road together. And as I said, the entire purpose of the tribe is that the power is in the tribe, that we cannot accomplish our most fondest dreams and biggest dreams alone. We need help. And in asking, and that's why a lot of us struggle. As I said, it's easy for us to give and give and give, but a simple thing like asking. And for example, Goddess Hathor, I would love to feel more pleasure in my life. I admit I have been so stressed out, for example, trying to build a tribe and starting up a new business after taking a break for 3 years. And, you know, wanting, and this is something that really things with me that actually really, it's a challenge of mine, is the perfectionism, procrastination thing that I've been working on. And that's because I've got my blocks that I'm working on as well. And it's basically saying this week to Hathor, she's basically saying, Anjali, take a break. You've been doing really well. You're doing absolutely amazing, but you need to have fun and you need to play. And when we don't relax and we don't have fun and we don't play, that's when we just squelch everything. Just imagine like a garden a garden hose. She's showing me a garden hose, and we just, you know, put that bend in the hose, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, why is the water not coming out in the nozzle, right? And it's about taking that time and saying, hey, you know what? I've got a few knots and a few kinks and everything, and I'm going to just open this out, and I'm going to relax and let the flow open and just trust and let everything work out in the way that it needs to. So this is Goddess Hathor. So I really want to bring her up here, and my apology that her name is going to be showing reversed. And so her symbolism is the cow, because when we think about the cow is an animal that actually, its milk not just nourishes the calves, but it can actually nourish us as humans or even other animals. Let's say there's a tiger, or let's say there's a little puppy and it got taken away, and we have this little puppy or little tiger in the zoo or a shelter. We would use cow's milk and put it in a little bottle and give it to them so they can still be nourished. So that's what Hathor represents. She's the milk of life. See how it's just her, it's just infinitely flowing for us. And this is really cool with the waterfall, because most of us live here, right? We live here, we're climbing up the rocks, and it's so dry and all this stuff. And Hathor is saying, hey, why don't you come in here? Why don't you just come in the waterfall and be nourished and get wet and enjoy me just pouring all over you, all this energy pouring all over you, and learning how to just enjoy. So it's sort of like, instead of stop and smell the roses, Hathor is asking to like stop and enjoy the waterfall. So the horns here on the side of her head, there's a sun disk in the middle, and the sun disk represents the fact that she's the daughter of the sun god Ra. So she's actually a sun goddess, and her solar powers has to do with the solar plexus. So she's about confidence, and she's really here today more so. I think everybody really needs to check in with regards to their confidence with their sexuality. Like, do you dress up? For example, I'm channeling the Hathor energy here. Do you dress up? Do you play? Do you have fun? You know, do you allow yourself to just laugh with people and not give a fuck about what they're thinking about you, or how they see you, or how they perceive you? That was a huge one for me today. And she says here, allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, your energy, and your ability to give others. And that's really the infinite dance. It's about, you can't give from a cup that's empty. You have to, take that space to receive and fill yourself of energy, and then you pour it out. You just, and some of us, it's really funny because we're empty and we're still, hey, why is nothing happening? Why is nothing happening? And I think that's going on with me right now. This is just so hilarious how Goddess Hathor is using me as an example of when you don't allow yourself to really relax and just let it all come in. And that's what I'm going to be doing this week. And that's what a lot of us are going to be doing this week, is just relaxing, letting go, playing, getting in touch with our bodies. One of the things I would recommend would be taking coconut oil and maybe your favorite essential oil. You want to heat up the coconut oil, not too hot, just warm temperature. And you'd want to put in maybe frankincense with sweet orange, or you'd probably want to put in lavender with lemongrass, and really spend time with yourself naked, in the nude, loving your body, appreciating your body. And not only are you going to massage yourself and feel good, you're going to be connected to your body, and you're going to be more in your body and more in your space to feel and enjoy things as the week goes by. So what I'm going to do, I don't know how to do this, but I want to invite someone up, and I would love to choose a card just to see what Goddess Hathor, what messages she would like to share with you and with everyone, including myself who's watching this. How can we, and the question is, how can we open up this week to receive in ways that we've never allowed ourselves to receive anymore? Filling up under the waterfall. Yes, Zoe. So, interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to bring someone up, but it doesn't show. It doesn't show, Zoe, it doesn't show that you're, choose a card, but I can't come on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to choose one for Goddess Freya. I'm going to choose one for Zoe. Okay, and I'm gonna start off with Goddess Freya. So this is specifically to you, how you can work with Goddess Hathor this week to be able to receive all the nourishment, and nourishment in the sense of love, inspiration, friends, connections, money, just anything that you need to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. And so I'm going to have to look into that, Goddess Freya. I had no idea you needed a special account to be able to bring viewers up. So I'm just choosing your card here. And your card is Mother Mary, expect miracles. And for me, that's pretty hands-on. It's when Mother Mary comes in, she's about praying. And you know what? Praying is a good way of receiving. And what I'm getting for you specifically, Goddess Freya, is that you may have a special connection with Mother Mary. So I'm going to say it here for you, with you. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed thou again amongst women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. And as I was saying that prayer for you, Goddess Freya, Mother Mary showed me that you've got so much babies in your arms, you need to put all your babies down and go take care of yourself. And know that she's going to take care of your babies. And this can be your actual children, or it can be friends or acquaintances that you've taken under the wing as well. Don't stress out too much and just know that you can take a time out. And if you take that time out to take care of yourself and to nourish yourself and nurture yourself and bring that energy up and with play and fun and pleasure, that they're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen to them. They're going to be fine. And I completely understand that, because today I was trying to have my moment in the bathtub with Hathor and connecting, and my daughter woke up and she's crying and crying and crying, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And then I gave in. I got out of the bath and I went to get the baby, to comfort the baby, right? And the duality of this message as well is basically saying, that inner child, that inner baby inside of you, you need to bring her to your bosom and let her suckle and take care of her and to nurture her as well, the little baby within you. And Zoe, I'm going to move on, and I hope, Goddess Freya, that really resonates with you. And Zoe, I'm just going to be asking Goddess Hathor this week for you, how can you open up to receiving way more than you've ever allowed yourself to receive? And again, this can be love, it can be inspiration, it can be information, connection, resources, money, anything that you really, really want in your heart right now. The thing is that you need to open up to receive it. And there's this saying that I have, you can't receive anything with a closed fist. So Goddess Hathor is about relaxing and opening your hands and putting it out and trusting that something really beautiful is going to be given to you. So I'm going to shuffle here, Zoe, and I'm going to ask Goddess Hathor to connect with one of the other aspects of the goddesses. Whoa, and this flew out. And this goddess is called Maeve, or Mauve. I always go back and forth, toggle with her name. And she's a Celtic goddess, and she's the goddess of cycles and rhythms. And she says, honor the cycles of your body and energy levels and emotions. And Zoe, tuning into you, the first thing I got is like, you need to revamp your entire schedule. There's a lot of things that are draining you. There's a lot of commitments that your heart and your soul is not in anymore, and it's actually draining you instead of filling you. So you really need to step back and look at yourself. Look at the people in your life, your family, your friends, the activities that you're engaged in, and say, hey, is this filling me up or is this draining and depleting me? And you may be experiencing, if you can comment, Zoe, and let me know if you're currently experiencing just being completely depleted. As I said, the needle under E, driving with the needle under E, right? Risque, being bold, driving with the needle under the empty. Now, the cool thing about Mauve is she's a Celtic goddess that's known for her sexual appetite. So she doesn't give a fuck about if somebody calls her a slut or a whore or a whatever. And she was known to favor kings, and she would wine with them and dine with them and sleep with them. And she was sort of the, if you want to think in modern terms, what a stud is. A stud would be that guy that has a good time with you and he's done and he leaves the bedroom and that's it. Well, think about Mauve in this role where she's the, oh my God, we need to come up with a female name for a stud. And it's not slut. and this is the energy that she's bringing out. It's like, you know what? I want to be ravished and I want to have fun and I want to make love. Zoe, I hope it's okay with you that I'm sharing all of this. And this is complementing the Hathor card. This is what Hathor is about. Hathor is about experiencing and feeling on really deep levels, especially sexual pleasure. And for some reason, a lot of us has this misconception: being spiritual means no more sex, or at least nobody spiritual talks about it. I am open and ready to receive. Yes, reevaluating my commitments. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you for confirming that. So, Hathor as well, Zoe, that you've popped up, and I know you're a belly dancer. Actually, belly dancing, because Hathor is the goddess of, she's also the goddess of music and dance. And dancers and musicians would make offerings to her in the temple to be inspired to create beautiful music and to be inspired to create beautiful dance. I'm just going to hold on for 1 second. I need a drink from my queen cup. Here we go. And the thing about it is, from what I know, belly dancing, when we look at belly dancing and the woman's freedom, her freedom to move, Zoe, what you're looking for is the freedom to move. And Hathor is asking you, just forget what you need to do, fuck your to-do list, and focus on how you can play and how you can fill yourself. And a huge one is music and belly dancing, or dancing. And I know you do belly dancing, so I'd really love to see you moving. And the key is, the more we move is the more life moves. The more we sit and we're stagnant is the more that life's stagnant as well. So, just taking a breath, because I get excited and I speed up and then I get pulled back in. So this is really Hathor. We're going to this week, I'm going to be putting in the different symbols, her symbols. As I said, the Ankh is one of her symbol, which represents longevity, and it represents fertility, and it really represents the infinite truth of the aspect of who we are as women, which is life-giving, right? And I'm going to be slipping in some of the symbols so you guys can get familiar with the symbols. If you want to bring Hathor in, a very simple way of doing that would be wearing things that are associated with her energy. So the recap would be wearing gold, as I'm wearing today. I'm wearing gold, or you can wear malachite. And as I said, the Egyptians, this is just my channeling makeup for Hathor, but what the Egyptians would do is actually crush the malachite stone into powder and actually powder their eyes with it. Or you can wear malachite necklace or bracelet, earrings. I'm all big on sacred jewelry. Sacred jewelry is literally a key element for any goddess, for any awakened woman, because it offers protection. Then there's turquoise. You can use turquoise to connect with her. If you have a stone, I highly recommend automatic writing, just calling her in and holding the stone and specifically placing your hands over your heart, because Hathor, you find Hathor in your heart. Hathor is definitely not in your head. Yes, embracing the lavish and juicy energy. Yeah, you love hugs. Awesome. And then the other gemstone would be amber. Now her colors, this is why I'm wearing the red lipstick. Her colors are red, and her color is also turquoise. Her symbols are the falcon. Her symbols are the cow. Her symbols are mirrors, interestingly. There's one right behind me here. I do a lot of dancing. I do a lot of mirror work with that mirror back there with my dancing. And another way, one of Hathor's symbols is makeup. And that's why today I asked her to come in and to basically just play with me and do makeup with me and play with me. And it's really about beautifying yourself and making yourself feel like the most, beautiful self that you have, right? And so those are ways of doing that. Oh, and then I had here where I wrote down duty versus pleasure. And that's what Hathor is about. Hathor is about, she's coming in this week for us to just get rid of the to-do list, to get rid of everything we consider a duty. Because believe it or not, a lot of us out there, we even look at sex as a duty. Like we'll schedule it in like, hey honey, are you available on Friday at 10 o'clock? Yeah, let's get down with it. That's not Hathor. Hathor is about, you have to feel it. You have to feel it. If it's something that you really feel like your intuition and your inner goddess is just so excited to partake in it, that's what you want to do. And if you're just not feeling it, don't go with it. Like, why force yourself? And just to let you know, a huge energy depleter is doing something that you don't love. It takes so much energy out of you. It's like burning gas that you shouldn't even be burning. It's like going down a wrong road, It's like driving down a road for like 2 hours, realizing that's not your destination and having to turn back around and go the other way. Like you just, you don't need to expend and burn your gas like that. So really be conscious this week about, is this bringing me fun? Is this bringing me pleasure? Do I really want to do this? Does this excite me? Does this turn me on? These are all the qualities of Hathor. So on that note, I have no idea how long I've been on here. But on that note, I am going to be closing up this week's Goddess of the Week. And I would really love for everyone to just, really consciously, again, when you want to bring a goddess in, you just think about them. Hathor, or as I said, you can call her one of her many different names. And I'm going to repeat those names. And I've got my list down this time. Hi, Tony. Namaste. Love you too, sister. I feel you. The Hathor in me feels the Hathor in you. So the golden goddess, lady of the stars, milk of life, lady of malachite, mistress of turquoise, bearer of joy, bringer of prosperity, mistress of music. So and nourisher of souls. So for example, and this is just things, the thing about it is, again, there is no right way and wrong way of doing anything. If I were to want to connect with Hathor, I would just say, mistress of turquoise, or nourisher of souls, or Hathor, or just Hathor, or goddess Hathor, or mother Hathor. Please just be here with me. Show me how to nurture myself. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to give to myself. What can I give to myself today to bring pleasure? How can I please myself? And it's really funny, and I'm just gonna say this. Self-pleasure is she's literally showing me self-pleasure. And self-pleasure can be, I'm instantly thinking about sex because she's a sexual goddess, but in the sense of, again, there's a lot of women out there. It's like, we want to get off. We want to have an orgasm, but we're going at this so mechanically, For me personally, I just avoid the whole thing. And what she's saying is get into a relationship with yourself, get into a deeper relationship with yourself. Look at your body, cherish your body. I'm thankful for my 10 toes and my 10 fingers. I'm thankful for my tits. I'm thankful for my wide, vivacious hips. I'm thankful for my glowing brown skin. I'm thankful that I can see. I'm thankful that I know the things that I know that I can share with you all, and it's just really being just really being, the thing is the intention. You gotta really want to. It's not in the head. I see a lot of us, especially the fact that I'm a basic and advanced law of attraction coach. And I see a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I work with, like, I'm so happy and grateful that I have this and I have this and I have that and this is coming to me and that is coming to me. And that's not manifesting. Manifesting is feeling. You have to feel the vibration. And I know, Zoe, you're a dancer, so you get that. And it's like looking at a dance performance. You can look at a person that's listening to the music. They know the steps and they're just moving the steps. And then you have the dancer that comes in and she is the music and she is the movement and she transports you into this time-space reality that is not even in this physical world, and she invokes emotions off of you. She can make you feel sad, or she can make you feel happy or joyful, or you know what I mean, right? Yeah, exactly. So if you all have any questions at all about Hathor, as I said today, I had a really rough day today, and this is Hathor saying to me, Anjali, and this is her last message to everyone, is like, for us to know, me included, like, we're enough. And we're doing enough. Like, this is enough, And this is just me being like, very authentic and very transparent with everybody. It's, this is enough. We're enough. What we're doing is enough. And we all need to have fun, and we need to relax, and we need to chill the F out, and we need to play. So I'm going to be developing maybe some different games, or I'm going to figure this out with Hathor. How do I get us all in the tribe engaged in experiencing pleasure through connecting with each other and playing with each other and having lots of fun? And I would love for everyone that's watching this video, it doesn't matter if you're live or if you're going to be watching the replay, to please post any inspirations that you've had from this video. If there's any questions that you have, feel free to post in the tribe. If you need help with anything, feel free to post in the tribe. And not only just this week, but always. But what I really want for us to do is to be able to voice ourselves and to be able to ask. Because if we don't ask, we're not going to be able to receive anything. And a lot of us are still conditioned where we're trying to do everything for ourselves, and we're not able to delegate and ask and receive that help. So please know that it's a growing tribe, and I do know all the sisters and the brothers in the tribe. If you were to post and you were to ask for any help with anything, myself or anyone in the tribe, we're all here to love and support, and together we're going to rise above, okay? We're going to rise above this, and thank you guys for coming in tonight, and have a pleasurable night and a pleasurable rest of the week. And please remember, relax, play, have fun, do pleasurable things, and take care of your sensuality and your sexuality, and really get connected with that sexy side of yourself, okay? It was nice talking to you all. Love, good night.